Hey YouTube, how's it going? My name is Tyler and this is your Movie Fix. I am back with another video on Star Wars The Force Awakens. And if you've seen the movie, you know that this movie is riddled with a handful of awesome moments. I could almost do a top 10 moments for each character, but I've kind of narrowed it down to 6 of my favorite moments in the entire film. So this video does contain spoilers. If you have not seen the movie, what are you doing here? Go away. You're gonna ruin it for yourself. So with that out of the way, let's get into these top 6 things that were my personal favorite moments in the movie. Now a couple of these I am going to kind of put together because they were sequences that followed each other. So I'm going to start this off with the interrogation scene with Kylo Ren and Rey and the escape that she made afterwards. I know some people kind of had an issue with how this scene kind of played out. Maybe they felt it dragged on a little, but I actually really liked that we got to see Kylo Ren using new force powers that we haven't really seen. Maybe Darth Vader used them behind the scenes in Empire when he was torturing Han, but we don't really know. But it was cool to see him using like a force extraction on like Poe and Rey and trying to use it on her, but she was obviously fighting it because she's force sensitive. So I thought that was a really cool moment to see her challenge him, and you can see Kylo actually getting afraid as he is probing into her mind, and she tells him that. She flat out calls him out, "You're afraid," and how she tells him, "You're never gonna be like him," referencing Vader. I thought all of that was just golden. I thought it was a really awesome moment, and that's when you got to see The Force Awakens in Rey, so that was just a really awesome thing. And then the following bit after it, where she's telling the Stormtrooper, and if you didn't know, that Stormtrooper is actually Daniel Craig, James Bond himself. He made a little unknown cameo in the movie, so that was really cool. That whole sequence with her kind of, oh wait, I just did this with Kylo Ren, what else can I do? Her just kind of having that realization and being able to use a Jedi mind trick on the Stormtrooper, and it made for a really funny moment with him dropping his weapon. That was all golden. I had no reason not to include that in my top 6 moments. And next up on this list, I'm gonna have to go with Han's death. And more specifically, right when he yells out Ben. As soon as that happened, it was just kind of like, did he just say what I thought he said? And I know a lot of people really wanted him to yell out Jason because that is the name of Han Solo's son in the Expanded Universe books, which are no longer canon. It does not matter. I think it made a lot of sense for Han and Leia to name their son Ben. What relevance does Ben have with Han Solo and Leia? If it wasn't for Ben sacrificing himself in Episode 4 to fight Darth Vader and let them go, they wouldn't be alive. They would have never come together. Leia and Han would have never met. If Luke and Ben never went to Han Solo, they never would have ever crossed paths. If not for them coming together, he at least saved their lives, so that's a pretty significant part. But also, just the way the death scene was handled, everybody saw it coming as soon as they were kind of walking up to each other. And I don't think that stopped the suspense whatsoever, because everyone in the theater around me, including myself, we were all just sitting here like this for like 2 minutes just waiting. Nobody wanted it to happen, but we all saw it coming, and I think that was done really well. There are kind of a lot of people conflicted as to why Kylo Ren did that, and I think it was pretty obvious. I do think he regretted doing it. He didn't want to do it, but he felt like he had to cut off his ties to anything that could tempt him to go back to the light side, as he talks about in the film, about how he can feel it calling to him again, and maybe this is part of why he wants to go kill Rey, Han, and Luke, is he wants to cut off any possibility of anyone tempting him to go back to the light side. And he's conflicted internally and externally. He was tempted by the dark side, I think, and it wasn't what he expected it to be. He didn't like what he got, but he maybe feels it's too late now, and he's maybe scared of Snoke. He feels like he can't back out of this. So I thought that was all a really powerful moment, and Adam Driver really delivered. And, you know, so did Harrison Ford. I think he did awesome. The whole moment where he touched his face, that got everybody. I wasn't crying, but it admittedly got me very sad, lump in my throat, but everybody else around me was. So I know that it was a pretty powerful moment for Star Wars fans and movie fans all over, which leads into the second part of this thing. I loved the sweet Wookiee rampage we got from Chewbacca after Han dies. I thought that was really cool. That was more gut-wrenching to me, seeing Chewbacca yell out in agony when he sees Han killed. This is his best friend. He has a life debt with him. He has been with him for decades at this point. So I just thought that is what got me. Not so much with Han putting his hand on his face and falling. That was all really sad. But hearing Chewbacca yell out, in the same when he got shot earlier in the movie, that is what tore me up. That is like watching a dog yelp, and that was so heart-wrenching. It was awful, and I loved it. So next up, this was a more lighthearted moment, and although I'm not happy with the way the character was used, I did like the little bits we got of it. There was no way I could not love the Captain Phasma being tackled by Chewbacca. I thought that was single-handedly the most hilarious moment to me in the film. It was just so out of nowhere, and I love how in the marketing they always have that one shot of her walking real badass through the hallways there, and you think she's played up to be this character, which maybe we'll get to explore her later. But I love how just inconspicuous as fuck Chewbacca just runs up and tackles her. The crowd just died. That was my personal favorite moment. I absolutely had to include that. I laughed the hardest at that, and I've seen it a couple times now, and each time it gets me. I just find it so funny. And again, this is another comedic moment, but I thought it really worked when Han, Chewie, Rey, and Finn are all trying to break in to the Starkiller base. Finn kind of confesses to Han that, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here to get Rey, and he goes on to talk about how the entire galaxy is depending on us. What are you doing? Don't worry, we'll use the Force. And the moment when Harrison Ford or Han Solo just goes, that's not how the Force works, that just got everybody. That was another great moment. Probably number 2 funny moment in the movie to me. Just the way that Finn just like, we'll just use the Force so casually. I just thought that was just really great. And next one up, this isn't a funny moment, and this would have been number 1 on my list, but it falls to number 2. The reveal of Luke Skywalker. Now, this would have been moved up to my number 1 if we would have got an exchange of dialogue. It was one of the best moments and one of the most disappointing, I think, for a lot of people, because he didn't say anything, and that doesn't take away from the scene. I do think it was awesome the way it was handled, but everybody, we wanted to see Luke, we wanted to hear something from him, and we didn't get anything. But I still loved the whole exchange of looks between him and Rey, and I still think it enforces the fact that she is his daughter, and just the whole reveal, just the reveal of Luke was a really awesome sequence with him on the island and his exile. I just thought that was really well done, and I can't wait to see episode 8 leave off right from there. Alright, so my number 1 favorite scene in the movie was the final fight between Kylo Ren and Rey. I did enjoy the parts with Finn, but I'm gonna stick with just the fight with Kylo and Rey, because I love the moment of clarity that she had as they're locked with sabers. Kylo kind of sees it in her that she just gets really calm, and she kind of gathers things together, and she goes for it, and she's able to take him down. And I think that Rey is the most lawful good character in this movie, probably next to Poe. I think she embodied such pure innocence. She was such an innocent character, and I think that we're going to get her to be the most pure light side Jedi, more than Luke ever was. That's just the vibe that I got from it, and it was really good. And like Yoda says in Empire Strikes Back, that Jedi only use the Force for defense and knowledge, never for attack, that sort of thing. I think she embodied that perfectly, and the way she took down Kylo Ren without killing him, and it doesn't really seem like she really mutilated him or took off any limbs like that. She was so in control, such precise strikes that she made to take out his lightsaber, and just, you know, the way she was able to hit him in the shoulder and just disable him, I thought that was really good. And she just handled that very maturely. It was such a moment of clarity for Rey, and it leads into another character arc that we're going to get from her in episode 8. So yeah, that has definitely got to be my favorite moment in there. So guys, comment down below. I really want to know, what were your favorite moments in The Force Awakens? So that's it. That's all I have for now, guys. Be sure to subscribe for more movie news, movie reviews, trailer reactions, and little videos like this. I will see you guys on the next video.